Okay, so I got my SX40 back. It's all good to go, and thank you Canon for leaving it in German. That was fun. But yeah, it's all good. And so it's back, all the functions are working like they should be, thank God. So on to the tutorial. So this bit that I was going to talk about was doing gig photography and setting your white balance. Now what this can do is it can let in a lot more light. When you're shooting in quite a dark space and you've got coloured light as well, you tend to get grainy, low quality pictures just because you can't get enough light in. If your camera's taking in darker colours, it's not getting in as much light there. I'll show you what I mean in a second. So I'm in manual at the moment and I've just got this Lucozade bottle in front of me. Now if I press the function set button, we're on auto white balance, and it's kind of doing the job. It's not perfect. My screen's flickering. That is annoying. I will probably contact Canon about that, but hopefully you can concentrate on this without the flicker affecting it too much. But anyway, so it's kind of looking a little bit yellowy on the screen at the moment. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to the end of the white balance option, which is custom white balance here. So what we do is we press display. So the display button here, and what that will do is it will actually evaluate the light within this middle box, and that will be the white area. So you find something white in the room, hit display. It will sound like it's taking a picture, and then the white balance will be equaled out. So what I'm going to do now, at the risk of causing a fire and killing myself, I'm going to put an orange bag over the lights in my room, and hopefully I won't be having to do this for too long. And I'm going to show you what happens when you are in coloured light, and that'll also dim the lights in my room as well. Okay, so I've put an orange bag over the lights, and as you can see it's a lot darker. I'm now underexposed, so I'm just going to change that so it's the right exposure. And if I just take that picture, you'll find that it's got a weird colour to it. You see how this has got a much bluer, whiter look to it, and now we're looking at a more orangey look. Sometimes that's nice, but when it's darker, like it would be in a gig, that can dim a lot of the colour. Like you won't get as much of the colour as you had before. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing. We're going to pick the area of the room that we know is white. We're going to go to our custom white balance and just press display. And that is going to evaluate the white balance, and as you can see, we're back to the right colour white balance, and we've got a lot more light coming in our image. Like I say, when you are in a gig situation, the room is darker, and it will let in more light. This is probably not the best example because I'm just in my bedroom, but I can't exactly take the camera to a gig and demonstrate it there. But next time you're at a gig and you find that it's probably too dark or the colours are too vibrant, you're not getting the original colours that you want to be getting, try using a custom balance and seeing how much more light you get in your image and how much more balanced it looks. If you change your mind, you don't like it, you can flip back to auto white balance. Okay, so here's some examples of gig photography that I've done in the past, and this is a terrible idea to take photography with a flash at a gig because you get this horrible shadow outline around them. It's never really a good idea, and this one in particular I took when the lights had just come on and she basically looks like she's burnt, so that's never a good idea. And the rest of these pictures, they were taken in, obviously there's a lot of red lighting at this gig, and it was pretty tough to actually get some decent pictures of them. I had to sharpen these a little bit because they were obviously moving because they're playing the instruments, and it was so dark in there that I was really struggling with the light. If I'd have known about the custom white balance, I may have saved myself a little bit of trouble with it. This is a video here just to show, you know, that dark light, it really, I mean the shadows are really enhanced here, and you're looking at red and black here. There's no real natural colours coming out. It's all very artificial light. So that's the sort of result you get from a normal gig. So the second gig I went to was at the 100 Club. That first band was Mary in a Tree. This next band is Santonica. And you can see I was still getting okay pictures. You know, there was a fair bit of movement, but I was still managing to capture them. I was keeping my shutter speed as fast as possible, my aperture as low as possible, and my ISO was pretty high. So they're quite grainy. But then I have no idea why I suddenly decided to mess around with the white balance, but the result was pretty good. I mean, these are the pictures coming up now, so you can see the colours are completely changed. It's a lot more natural. Now some people don't like that, they like to keep sort of the gig lighting, but I personally found that it let in a lot more light, so it let me be a little bit more free with the images that I was taking. As you can see, well, I think the result came out quite well, each to their own really, but I could have actually sped up my shutter speed a little bit more and sort of risked a bit of a darker picture, but captured the action a little bit better. And the great thing was that white balance transferred over to the video, so when I was taking footage it wasn't as dark as it was in that other gig, because the white balance was different, so it was picking up a lot more detail. So in the end, I found that really helped me with the gig photography. It may not be everyone's cup of tea, you may not decide that that's the best way to do gig photography, but for me that was the best way to get a result, and I'm looking forward to the next time I go to a gig when I can mess around with that again and see if there's any other tricks that I managed to pick up along the way.